Welcome to the Total Boss Podcast, and I'm your host, Christiano Green, a podcast where we talk about finding fulfillment through self-development, being a leader of your own life, and getting the most out of it as well. Tenacity, originality, talent, authenticity, and being legendary. It's all about living your best life. Hello, all you total bosses out there, and welcome to another episode of the Total Boss Podcast. Now, I am your host, Christiano Green, and I'm a mindset and transformation coach working with gay men to help them transform their past trauma into future triumph so that they can have more confidence, which means when you get confidence, you can go out there and do the things that you want to do in your life and create that life that you truly deserve and gain fulfillment. So this week on the podcast, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, and that is leadership. Now, most of you who've been listening for a while or been following my journey know that I spent about 15 years in leadership roles in the corporate world, working for a range of different companies. And it's really where I got a lot of my skill set, got a lot of my experience. And it's also really where I was able to hone the skills that I needed to then go out and create my coaching business as well. So I have a lot of respect for leadership and leaders out there. And it's also about figuring out how do we harness those skills that we learn as leaders in maybe, career or business, and apply it to all different areas of our life. So really truly being a leader of your life means that you can actually go out there and look at the different areas that we have in life and figure out what it is that we need to do to actually step up, right? Because as we know, we're a multifaceted human being, right? Multifaceted people, add in all the different aspects of who we are, and we'll look at some of those areas and go, you know what, over here I feel like I'm really showing up as a leader. But you might see in one of those other areas that you're not, right? For example, you might be really owning it in your career or your business, but your physical health isn't really where it needs to be, right? You might be feeling really high on the leadership level of spirituality and really owning that part. But when it comes to your mental and emotional health, you're not really stepping up the way that you want to be, right? Or it could be that, your finances are in a really great place, but your relationships are suffering as well. So it's about really trying to understand and hone the skills that we learn in leadership and actually apply it across the board so we can get results in all area of our life and actually take our life to a whole new level. Now, if we really want to look at it, we're holistic people, right? We need to start looking at ourselves holistically and not saying that if I do this one thing, everything will change. It's all about taking small steps in the direction of where you want to go, but knowing that, if you affect one area, you can make, results in others as well, right? For example, you might be, like I said, really doing well in your finances, but your relationships are suffering and your physical health is suffering and your mental and emotional health is suffering, right? And you work on yourself, right? You work on the relationship that you have with yourself. And what happens is you start to realize that, the reflection of my relationship with myself becomes now a reflection of my relationship with others. So now that I've improved my relationship with me, I have better relationships with my friends, my family. And now maybe finding a partner is something that is much more, on the radar than it was maybe a few months ago. And you'll also find that, okay, great, I've got a better relationship with myself. So that means my mental and emotional health is going to be so much better. I'm going to be feeling in such a great mindset. I'm going to be able to be, regulating and managing my own emotional intelligence. And then from that point on, when you are in that place, you go, oh, wow, look at my physical health and wellness. That's improving as well. So it's about really having a look at where you are, what your goals are, and really going, where can I make the biggest difference, right? Where can I start first that's going to actually take me and propel me to be a leader in all these other areas of life? So I'll kind of jump through and talk a bit about the different areas of life that we can really step up and become a leader at. And then, really understand what it takes to really step in those areas. So number one, physical health and wellness, right? So obviously your body is your vessel, right? And if you're not fueling it correctly, if you're not taking care of it correctly, you're going to be lacking in energy. You might have some sort of, physical or mental illnesses that come out from really not taking care of it, right? if you're not eating right, you're not drinking enough water, you may be overindulging in food or alcohol or sometimes even drugs, right? Because everything we put into our body isn't going to take care of us, right? And so if we're not really putting that at the forefront, we're going to have a lack of energy, right? We might have a lack of motivation, right? We might have we may not be able to control our emotions, because if we're not able to control our habits, we're not going to be able to control our emotions or our mindset as well, right? And then maybe what will happen is our spirituality will suffer, maybe our relationships will suffer, our community, our connections, our business might suffer, right? These all things can happen if we don't have a solid physical health and wellness. And I'm not saying that they all do happen, because oftentimes people, suffer their physical health to really do well in business. Like, they'll work crazy hours, they won't sleep, they won't eat properly, just because they want to do further in business. And that can happen, right? It's just saying that, really at the core of it, the physical health and wellness, to be a true leader, it's about going, okay, what I consume on a physical level, and that means consuming by eating, drinking, even watching things on TV, all of those things that you're consuming affect your physical health and wellness. So it's about really going out there and saying, what do I need to do to step up and really step into myself as a physical human being and improve it. So being a leader, I might go, currently I'm not eating well. Currently I'm not sleeping well. Currently I'm not drinking enough water. So what would be a plan I might put into place to be a leader? I might say to myself, you know what? I'm going to set myself a regular schedule of time that I'm going to go to sleep with. First of all, I need to get my 8 hours of sleep, or 7 hours or 6 hours, whatever it is for you, right? If you're getting 4, starting with 5, 6, going to 7 or 8 would be a good thing, right? Most people say that 7 to 8 is the optimum time, right? To rejuvenate your brain, to allow your body to heal and do its natural things, right? So working on a schedule might be something that you can do to be a leader in that area. It might be that you go, I'm not doing any exercise. I might start by going for a 30-minute walk while I'm doing something else, right? Because maybe, for example, you're taking a phone call at work. You can walk and talk, right? I often love to walk and talk because it saves time, right? It's a good thing to do. I'll go down to the beach sometimes and I'll walk down the beach, have a call on, or I'll listen to something that I need that's important for me, like something that I'm learning. If I'm doing some study, right? Sometimes I put in the earpods, go for a walk, right? All these things that you can do. Things like that. And it might be that I'm going to cut out some of the alcohol, cut down from 5 days to 2 days, and I'll get myself in, start really tracking my water. So these are areas that you can step up and become a leader in, right? It's quite easier to be a leader in that if you really take the effort, right? And allow yourself to not get into the, impulse control. Because obviously a lot of people out there struggle with their impulses, whether that is food, alcohol, drugs, sex, consuming stuff on TV, etc. All of the different areas. There's so many out there, right? We all know about that. But for you, it's about figuring out what are those things. And then on the wellness side, it's going, what can I do that's going to help me, as well as a physical, maybe it's yoga, maybe it is taking up a sport, right? All of these different things where you're enjoying yourself while you're still being healthy as well. Because the more you focus on those things, the more you start to see other areas that you can improve in that way. So that's how you might step up as a leader in those areas. Now, the next area would be your mental and emotional health, right? Now, like I said, there are times in our life where we're feeling amazing, and there's times in our lives where we're feeling really shitty, right? And, if you're not in control of your mental and emotional health, what you're going to find is that you're going to have a way more of a yo-yo effect where it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Whereas when you become stable, what you'll find is that it will go up and down, but it will be a lot less away from the curve, right? You might find that you'll bounce for a little bit, but you can control yourself and you have a good mindset that you can get back on track, right? When something happens, like, we may lose someone that we love, we may break up with someone, we may have a fight with a family member or a partner, etc. All of these things that can affect your emotions, right? Stress from work, right? That fucking takes a massive toll on everyone, right? So if you're really in that place, you don't have a strong mindset and you're emotional, you're going to not regulate your emotions, and what's going to happen, you'll be reactionary instead of responding, right? You're going to take those reactions and act in a way that's just not going to be the way that you want to act, right? You want to step up and really go, okay, if I'm going to be a leader of my emotions, I need to be in control of how I want to act, how I want to feel. And yes, some things will come at bay, but this also comes into play of working through your trauma and clearing out your triggers, right? Because if you are handling emotions and they're not coming out well, and you're reacting and you blow up, whether that's from anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, etc., you'll find that you're going to continue to be that way, and it's going to affect other areas of your life. But when you can really understand the emotional intelligence regarded around really what it is about empathy and and self-regulation, and really understanding that, other people are also going through stuff as well. You get to a place of just like, again, you might have a initial internal reaction, but you can then process it and go, okay, this is not how I'm going to react. I'm going to respond accordingly. And then you can move forward and process it. Again, it's not about saying, I'm not going to say those things. I'm not going to, speak to people if they've done something wrong to me. That's not what we're saying here. It's about regulating so that you respond the way that you choose to respond, not in the way that someone's coming at you and you react from that place. Same with your mindset. It's about really doing the things and getting those habits in place so that you can have a strong mindset, so that, again, if something comes up, your mindset, your mental side, your mental health is actually taken into consideration, because, again, people suffer from different things at times, and, oftentimes people run to, medications or alcohol or, sex or something else as an avoidance strategy, right? And you don't really necessarily deal with it. So it's about looking at going, if I'm depressed, what is really the root cause of that depression? How do I work through that? Like I said, as a master NLP practitioner, there's this thing called timeline therapy that we do, and I do it so many times with my clients, where we actually heal themselves from their past traumas, and it changes the way that they think moving forward. It changes the way that their patterns are. It changes their neurochemicals in their brain as well. So a lot of this stuff can be cleared out so that you can be at a place and no longer deal with that depression, no longer deal with that anxiety, no longer deal with those mental health disorders, because all of those things can be resolved if we take the time to really understand where it came from as well. Now, the next one is our daily life. What are the things that we do on a daily basis? What is causing us to not step up as a leader here? It might be that, day to day, you're just taking everything day to day, right? You don't have anything set in the calendar. You don't have any plans, and you're not making steps to move forward. So you're just living life the way that it's coming at you. And sometimes that can be good, and sometimes it's going to be not so good, right? Especially if you're not necessarily happy with your life, but you're not doing anything to change it. So if I was to step up as a leader in my daily life, I might say, look, you know what? This is where I want to go. I need to set some really solid goals. And here is a schedule and something that I can put in place on a daily basis, maybe some better habits in the morning, that is going to kickstart my day so that I start to make the changes that I need to, achieve my goals as well. So really stepping up as a leader might be really just going, okay, this is where my life is right now, accepting that and going, this is where I want to be, and making a plan. So daily life's all about planning your calendar. Are you on track? Are you moving towards the dreams, or are you just letting life just come by as well? So really stepping up as a leader might be owning that part as well. Next one is spirituality. This is really stepping into who you are as a spiritual person, your spiritual path, right? Like I said, people often in this area go up and down, up and down. I'm spiritual, but they don't do anything to keep themselves and focus on their self-care routines to really put them in place, right? Sometimes people go, I meditate in the morning, but, that's only 2 times a week, or it's sporadic, right? But, it's about consistency and what are the spiritual practices you want to do, I've been on many spiritual retreats in my time because I believe in spirituality, and I know that often I've got to continue to keep focusing on it, right? Because oftentimes when we're in a good place is when we stop doing the things that got us there, and then we fall backwards. But it's about those consistent things on a daily basis that are going to keep us moving in the right direction. So if that's meditation for you, if that's yoga for you, if that is, really understanding and going deeper into philosophy and deeper into, the universe, and really understanding more about where you came from and what you believe in, that's great. But find some time to do that so that you can really become a leader of your life in that area. Your home life. Your home life is really, the space that you live in, the town that you live in, the area that you live in, right? Are you happy and comfortable with your home environment? Now, you could be living with a lot of people, you could be living on your own, and one of those could be great or one of them could be not. So it's about figuring out for you, what does a great home life look like, and how do I step into myself as a leader in that area and create a space for myself? Maybe it's that you don't live in an area that you like. For example, for me, like I lived in Sydney for over 15 years, loved it for most of that time. It was only in the last couple of years that I really decided that this wasn't the place for me, especially coming into this next chapter of my life. So I moved and I moved to Bali because I wanted a more relaxed, I wanted a more chilled out spiritual life, right? I wanted a more island life with beautiful weather. And so that's what I stepped into on my journey as well. Now, again, for you, that might not be moving, but it might be going, okay, what do I need to do? What can I change in my environment at home that's going to allow me to step into that as well? Next one, digital space. Now, this is everything online, like how much time you're spending on social media, how's your systems online, your platforms, your digital, filing system, right? If that's out of order, that becomes a representation of your mindset. And if you've got these things all over the place, it's going to affect you. So really getting your digital space in order, really going, how much time am I consuming social media? And is that affecting me achieving my goals? If your job is online like myself, digital space, you spend a lot of time on there. So it's about really going, okay, how much time do I want to spend doing this? And how much time do I want to spend allowing myself to be with people face to face as well? Because obviously, a lot of my business is done on Zoom, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, etc. So I'm online a lot, but it's also about going, okay, maybe I need some help. Maybe I need to get someone who's going to take care of some social media for me so I have more time to spend doing those things. So it's really about understanding your needs and stepping up and going, okay, this is just too much. Because, you could be, think about those times that you've been out for dinner with friends and literally they're on their phones the whole time. You're like, why am I here? I don't want to be getting to that place. So when I'm with people, I don't like to be sitting on my phone. I want to be with them and present and being able to connect to them fully as well. Next is your career or business. Are you happy with the thing that you're doing? The thing that you spend most of your time on? This thing that you spend, 30, 40, 50, 60 hours a week on, really grinding sometimes to build, to take to the next level. If you're not happy with your career and business, what is it that you are passionate about? How do you step up as a leader and go, okay, now I really know what I need to do. What do I need to do about it? So it's about really uncovering, first of all, where you're at, but then where you want to be. And then a plan to get there as well. So this is really important because a lot of this revolves around our mission, our purpose, our passion, right? And so it's about us going, okay, what do I need to do to take it to the next level so that I can be happy and then I can, add value to other people and then, really make a difference sometimes, right? Next is finances. Where are you at on your financial level? Are you happy with where it is? I would say that 99% of people would say that they're not happy because more than 99% of people are just not financially secure, financially free. I know that I am not yet, and that is something that I want to work towards because, the finances there's two things in life that people stress out about the most. One is finances, the other is relationships, right? So, you can't buy relationships, real true, authentic ones, but your relationships can build your finances. So it's about really looking and going, what do I need to do to improve that? Am I investing? Am I saving? Am I really bringing in money that's working? What do I need to do to shift that and change it and improve on that, And as you go and grow and get along that path, you'll start to see it evolve. So it's really about looking at, again, accepting where you're at, going, are your taxes done? Have you paid all your things? Are your everything in order? Because if it's not in order, that's going to affect your mindset. It's going to affect how you think because it's always going to be overarching above you as well. So getting your finances in check is strong for leadership. Next is community, right? The people that you spend around with. That could be the wider LGBT community. It could be the community that you brought up with, your culture, your family, it could be the area that you live in, right? So it's about figuring out how happy are you about your connection to your community and what you're doing for your community. And is it aligned with who you are? Because sometimes we're part of communities that just, we may have been born into, etc., and we're just not necessarily aligned with them. So it's figuring out how do I get aligned or how do I move away from that community so that I build proper communities around me that accept me and love me for who I truly am. That's how we step up as leaders in that area. Next one is contributions, right? Contributing to giving back. Again, this is a little bit about this can be related to your career and business and your mission. How are you contributing to a wider people? Or it could be, charitable affairs. It could be helping a friend in need. It could be helping a random stranger. It could be helping someone across the road or helping someone in need, right? Really allowing to step in and go, am I contributing to people around me? If I am, great. If not, what do I need to do and step up as so I can contribute more? This might be that, you might say, hey, look, you know what? I've been wanting to, go and volunteer at a puppy shelter. I might find where I can do that. Maybe I can do it once a month on a weekend day or whatever, right? Finding time to do those things, right? It might be that, I find that I've always wanted to help clean up the beach because they're disgusting and I want to give part back to the earth. Figure out how do you find those places? There's plenty of things online that you can do to connect to these things. There's more than ever, Facebook groups, all of those things that you can do to connect and contribute more. That's how you're going to step up as a leader, is really going out and doing those things. Next one is growth. How do you step up and focus on your own personal growth, right? This is where it might be that you continue studies. It could be that you're reading. It could be doing podcasts. It could be connecting, having great conversations. What are you doing as a continual growth? Because if you're not growing, you are dying. It's about moving yourself in the right direction so that you get what you want out of life as well. So growth is important. This is something that we should be focusing on a daily basis because, again, it keeps you moving forward in the right direction. And if you have a growth mindset, you'll always want to be figuring out ways to improve. It's not about saying I'm not satisfied with this and never being happy with what you're at, because on the journey of growth, you should be happy along that you're learning, right? If you make a mistake, you should be happy about that. Wow, I now know something new, right? Instead of beating yourself up because you made a mistake as well. So on the growth journey, as a leader, it's about stepping up and going, am I really pushing myself to grow in the ways that I want to? Like I said, I'll have different areas of my life, for example, my business and my career. There's areas I need to improve and grow so that I can improve that. But it might be that, again, when it comes to my physical health, how do I continue to grow in that area? How do I grow in my spirituality? How do I grow in my mental and emotional health? How do I grow in my finances? So there's so much stuff of knowledge out there to understand and learn. It's about figuring out a plan so that you can continue to grow in those areas that you want. And finally, the biggest one of all are relationships. We have so many relationships in life. Relationships, if we didn't have them, we wouldn't be around, right? We have to live life with relationships, whether that's relationship to our love partner, a relationship with our family members, and relationships with our friends. It could be, with our team that we in our business or career, right? Or it could be our clients, right? Or it could just be the wider community, right? There is always going to be a relationship that's valuable and important for you to get yourself through. So really understanding how you're showing up as a leader in these ways, because again, each one of them could be different. You might be showing up as a leader with your family, but you're not doing it with your relationship with your partner. And you might be showing up with your clients, but you're not with your team, So it's really about taking that honest, hard look at your relationships and saying, what do I need to do to improve them? How can I become a leader in those areas? So really overarching, looking at all of those things together and stepping up and stepping into the truth of who you truly are. Well, that's kind of the overall understanding of really what we can do to really become a leader in all areas of our life. Now, I'm super excited because I'm going to be going into so much depth with this topic. It's one of my favorite topics. I'm doing a 6-hour boot camp with my clients next weekend, and I'm super excited that we'll be going into depth, like I said, in all of these areas and truly making a plan for everyone to become a full leader of their life. Now, if you're interested in possibly attending that, reach out to me on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, right? Because, this might be something that is, there for you, and I'm happy to share some details about how you might be able to, come and join us if you really think, if you're ready to step up and become a leader of your life in all those different areas. It's important, right? Something that I find valuable, and it's helped me along my path and my journey, and something that I'll continue to teach because, again, stepping up as a leader is important for yourself, but also for all the people around you as well. All right, guys, I trust this has been valuable for you. I'd love to hear all your comments or questions that you have, so feel free to comment below, or again, keep the conversation going with me on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, right? Because I love to hear from you guys. I love hearing about what you like hearing about in these podcasts, but also if there's a burning question, ask it, because it can spur a great conversation moving forward. All right, I'm going to leave you there, but I'll catch you next week. And always, always, always remember that you have got this and I've got you.